Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of ESSD, which is Eat, Sleep, Scape, Discuss, and this will be a video series where we discuss all things RuneScape, whether it's an update, something being changed, a new thing that's rumored, whatever it may be, we will discuss it here, and hopefully we will be able to have a calm and interesting discussion in the comments below, where you guys can give feedback and just discuss amongst each other about it. I don't want any fighting, I don't want anything bad going on, so hopefully we can have a nice environment here, but today's first topic is the change to the famous title. Now, if you don't know what the famous title is, it is a reward that you get from completing Morvran's Slayer Challenge, and Morvran is the new high-level Slayer Master in Completionist. He gives you an assignment to kill the Giant Mole in Hard Mode, Calfight Queen, Dagannoth Kings, King Black Dragon, Queen Black Dragon, Kriara, Commander Zilyana, Krill Sutzaroth, General Grardor, and Araxor. Now, not only do you have to kill each of these bosses once, but after each one you kill, you get a Dark Crystal which acts as a debuff to your account. So the first Dark Crystal that you get is called Magic Weakness. It's plus 25% magic damage dealt to you, so that makes it more of a challenge. It makes it so you're not just killing the bosses, you actually have a challenge that goes into it. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about the famous title. Morvran assigns you a random Slayer task to kill a bunch of bosses. After you kill each one, you get a debuff, you kill them all, and then you get the famous title, as well as 50k Slayer experience and 45 Slayer points. But besides that, when it came out, it was a Completionist Cape requirement to do this. So unlocking the famous title was a Completionist Cape requirement, and people weren't happy about that because they had to kill Araxor again. So a lot of people went on the forums, they made threads saying, why do we have to do this, why is this a Completionist Cape requirement, they blew up social media, and it went all over, to the point where Jagex was actually considering making this a trim Completionist Cape requirement. So on a RuneScape official livestream, Mod Osborne and Mod Stacy said this, quote, "We are looking to make the current challenge a trim requirement, otherwise keeping it as it is, and then add in a Completionist challenge, which includes 9 monsters and no Araxor. That will have less XP and Slayer points and a new title, which will automatically be unlocked by those who did the trim version." So because of all of the complaining, they decided to make 2 separate challenges, one Slayer challenge which is for Completionist Capes, which basically is the same challenge but no Araxor, and then one for trim which includes Araxor. Now this made a lot of people happy because they wanted the requirement changed, but it also made a lot of people unhappy because this pretty much encouraged if you complain enough you'll get what you want. So after the livestream ended, a lot of people assumed that there would be 2 separate challenges, one with Araxor and one without. The one without would be the Completionist Cape requirement, so a lot of people held off on getting the famous title and finishing their Comp Cape requirement. But a lot of people were unhappy about that and went to the forums and said, why are you catering to the complainers? Why are you changing this requirement? This is a Slayer challenge, it should be a challenge, Araxor should be in there. So Mod Stacy posted on the forums and said, quote, "Hey guys, just to let you know this won't be needed. We've taken a lot of arguments into account and will not be changing the comp requirement. There will be a detailed post later this week with more explanation on this, so this is just a quick courtesy post for those that are holding off on the potential change that we had mentioned last week. For those of you that are struggling to solo Spidey, keep practicing, and if that still doesn't help, then the potions that come in batch 2 should." So right there, she confirmed that there is not going to be 2 separate challenges, it's only going to be one and it will remain the same. Araxor is in there and it is a Completionist Cape requirement. So this brings me to my opinion of this. Now, first of all, I believe that this should be a Completionist Cape requirement because the Completionist Cape should be hard to get. This is a Slayer challenge which lists all of the soloable bosses on RuneScape, and Araxor is one of them, so it should not be removed off of the list just because people think it's difficult. If it's a solo boss, you should be able to do it if you own a Completionist Cape. And if you can't do it for whatever reason that may be, then you have to wait till either batch 2 like Mod Stacy said where there will be potions to help you, or if you just watch guides and attempt it, you may be able to do it. You can't just assume something's really difficult or because you have a problem or something, whatever it may be, you can't just assume that they're going to remove Araxor off the challenge. It is a challenge and it is for a Completionist Cape, which should be the most prized possession to get in RuneScape. Now on top of that, if you have the argument of, oh I don't do PVM, it's too hard for me, I can't do it, then why do you have a Completionist Cape in the first place? I don't mean to be rude, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just bringing up a point. If you don't do PVM in the first place, there's really no point to having a Completionist Cape. The only reason the Completionist Cape is good is because it has the best stats in the Cape slot, and that is mainly used for PVM, which reflects on your damage bonus and your armor bonus, and it helps you during PVM situations. So that is why the Completionist Cape is good. Also, it means Completionist, which means you've completed pretty much everything in the game. So if you can't do Araxor, or if you think it's too difficult, then I don't know if you should be able to have a Completionist Cape. The point of a Completionist Cape isn't to have a customizable thing to change the colors of, to have particles, to look cute, to have a place to teleport to on the cape. It's about being a completionist, showing that you've completed everything in the game. And if you're not willing to complete everything in the game, then you shouldn't have a Completionist Cape. Another thing people are saying is, why do we have to do this again when we just did it for Soul Reaper? We had to kill one of each boss for the Reaper title. Why do we have another Completionist Cape requirement of killing these bosses? which I definitely agree with. It's pretty bad timing that we got this Slayer challenge right after we just had Soul Reaper, and it is kind of just repetitive to kill the same bosses over and over. I mean, this is a challenge where you get debuffs and you have to kill the bosses, so it's understandable that it is different, but it doesn't make sense why this wasn't just included with Soul Reaper. Anyways, if you can do it once, you can do it again. Now, I absolutely hate that phrase because in December of 2012, when that Tinsel Snake Sparkles came out in RuneScape, I had a Jad pet, and because of that, there was a glitch. And if you summoned your Jad pet, it would just immediately run away from you. You would just lose it forever and you wouldn't get it back. I think I was like one of 5 people who lost their Jad pet that way, and I was the first person to report it as a bug, but I got a message back hoping that I would be able to get my Jad pet back, and I got the response from Jagex before I worked for them, of course, but I got the response, hey, if you did this once, you can do it again. I'm sorry for your loss, but we can't refund it. Just do it again, you can do it. And I really hated hearing that, but it's right. I mean, if I did it once, I can do it again. It will take some time, but if I really want it, I'll have to get it. Now, it does suck because it wasn't my fault that I lost it, but anyways, that's pretty much what applies here. If you did it once, you can do it again. Araxor isn't that hard, especially because you can do it first, which means you have no debuffs. It's just like doing it straight out the gate, just going there normally and completing it. You can watch guides, there's tons of them, and you really don't have a challenge there. It's really easy to kill Araxor. I mean, I'm saying that from my perspective because it's easy for me, but it may be hard for someone else, but you can take the time to learn it. So it's not that bad of a challenge. You just have to really face your fears and really just try to learn it and get it done. So that's pretty much my opinion on the famous title debate, whether it should be a Completionist Cape requirement or a Trim Completionist Cape requirement. I'm really happy it's staying the same. I don't like that you can just take back your word and say, hey, we're going to give you this. Nah, we're going to give you that. Nah, we're going to give you this because you didn't like that. So I'm really happy that it's staying the same. I'm glad Jagex stuck to their guns and kept it the way they intended to have it. I mean, I don't think it's that unfair of a challenge. I don't think it's that hard of a challenge. It only takes about an hour and 30 minutes max. It's not worth doing for Slayer points or XP. You can definitely get a lot more XP and points by just doing actual Slayer, but this isn't a bad one-time challenge, and it should be a Completionist Cape requirement. Just get it done, get it over with, and forget about it. Anyways, that's all for my discussion about this topic. I would like you guys to discuss it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think they should have changed it? Do you think they should keep it? Why? Give your points. Have a collective debate in the comments below. Keep it civil. Keep it okay. Just debate, discuss, and that's what this series is for. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, everyone.